क्षान्तिश्चेत् कवचेन किं किमरिभिः क्रोधोऽस्ति चेद्देहिनां ज्ञातिश्चेदनलेन किं यदि सुहृद्दिव्यौषधं किं फलम् किं सर्पैर्यदि दुर्जनाः किमु धनैर्विद्या न वद्या यदि व्रीडा चेत् किमु भूषणैः सुकविता यद्यस्ति राज्येन किम्.
Today we sit with one of the most elegantly constructed verses in all of Sanskrit wisdom literature. It comes from the Niti Shataka, the century of verses on right conduct, composed by Bhartrhari, the legendary king of Ujjain, who, tradition tells us, walked away from his own throne to become a sage. Listen to the verse first. Kshantischet kavachena kim aribhi krodho asti ched dehinam jnatisched analena kim yadi suhrid divyaushadam kim phalam kim sarpair yadi durjanah kimu dhanair vidyaa anavadya yadi vreedaa chet kimu bhushanayah sukavitaa yadi asti rajyena kim. 8 questions. That is all this verse is. 8 rhetorical questions, each one a small explosion. If you have kshaanti, forbearance, what do you need armour for? If anger, krodha, already lives inside embodied beings, what do you need enemies for? If you have envious kinsmen, what do you need fire for? If you have a true friend, a suhrid, what use is even divine medicine? If wicked people exist, why would you need serpents? If your learning, your vidyaa, is flawless, what do riches add? If you have modesty, vreedaa, what do ornaments add? And if fine poetry lives in you, sukavitaa, what would you even do with a kingdom? Let us slow down and feel the words. Kshaanti comes from the root ksham, meaning to endure, to bear. It is not weakness and it is not suppression. It is the capacity to absorb a blow without becoming the blow. And Bhartrhari compares it to a kavacha, a coat of armour. Think about what armour does. It does not defeat the enemy. It simply refuses to let the strike reach the flesh. Forbearance does exactly this with insults and injuries. The attack arrives and it finds nothing to land on. And here is the quiet superiority. Armour can be pierced. Armour can be removed. Armour grows heavy. Kshaanti weighs nothing, and no weapon has ever been forged against it. Then the verse turns dark and honest. Krodha asti ched dehinam. If anger exists in embodied beings, what need is there of enemies? Notice the word dehinam, those who have a deha, a body. Bhartrhari chose that word deliberately. Anger is a disease of the body. Watch what rage does to your pulse, your breath, your sleep, your digestion. An external enemy has to find you, plan against you, and strike only occasionally. Your anger lives with you, knows all your weaknesses, and attacks every single day. It is the enemy with permanent inside access. Modern medicine has caught up with this line. Decades of research show that chronic hostility damages the heart more reliably than many external dangers ever could. The old poet knew it by observation alone. The same honesty continues. Jnati, the kinsman, is compared to anala, fire, and the Sanskrit tradition playfully derives anala from nalam, the one who never says enough, the insatiable devourer. Why is the jealous relative like fire? Because fire destroys the very house it lives in. An enemy must breach your gate. The resentful kinsman was born inside it. The entire Mahabharata, you could say, is this one line expanded into 100,000 verses. But then comes tenderness. Yadi suhrid divyaushadam kim phalam. If you have one true friend, what use is divine medicine? The word suhrid literally means good-hearted, not merely an ally, not a useful contact, but someone who wishes your good with no motive at all. Why is such a friend medicine? Because most human suffering is not in the body. It is grief, doubt, humiliation, loneliness, fear. No herb exists for these, but a good-hearted listener does. And here again modern science bows to the verse. The longest running study of human happiness ever conducted found that the quality of our close relationships predicts our health and longevity better than almost anything else we can measure. Then wealth. Kimu dhanair vidyaa anavadyayadi. If your learning is anavadya, flawless, blameless, what do riches matter? Notice the difference in how these two assets behave. Wealth is spent by using and diminished by sharing. Knowledge grows by using and multiplies by sharing. One can be stolen, taxed, inherited away. The other crosses every border with you and compounds until your last day. But notice also Bhartrhari's careful qualifier. The learning must be anavadya, without blame. Knowledge worn arrogantly or used to harm is just another possession. Only humble, integrated learning attains this rank. And then beauty. Vreedaa chet kimu bhushanai. If there is modesty, what need of ornaments? Jewels exist to make a person worth looking at. Modesty makes a person worth trusting. One decorates the skin, the other decorates conduct. And finally, the boldest claim of all and the most autobiographical. Sukavitaa yadi asti rajyena kim. If fine poetry lives in you, what would you do with a kingdom? Remember who is speaking. Bhartrhari held a real throne and gave it up. A king rules territory that rebellion or death or a scheming brother can seize in a night. A true poet rules the inner world of everyone who ever recites him. 16 centuries have passed. Every kingdom of Bhartrhari's era has crumbled into archaeology. And yet, here we are tonight, inside his verse, governed by his words. He is his own proof. So what is the deep architecture of this sloka? 2 columns, 5 inner possessions that make outer instruments unnecessary. Forbearance replaces armor. Friendship replaces medicine. Learning replaces wealth. Modesty replaces ornament. Creative power replaces the kingdom. And 3 inner or intimate evils that make outer dangers unnecessary. Your anger is your enemy. The envious kinsman is your fire. The wicked man is your serpent. The battlefield, Bhartrhari is saying, is internal on both sides. You already carry your best defenses and you already carry your worst attackers. Now let this become practice, not just admiration. Ask yourself 3 questions this week. First, where am I still buying external armor, status, posturing, defensiveness for wounds that only forbearance can close? Second, If my anger were a separate person doing to my body and my relationships what it actually does, would I tolerate that person for even one day? Third, of the 5 inner treasures, forbearance, friendship, learning, modesty, creativity, which is weakest in me, and what would it mean to invest in it as seriously as I invest in money? And try this one habit. For 7 days, keep a small 2-column note. Every time you catch yourself reaching for an external fix to an internal ache, retaliating to feel safe, buying to feel worthy, boasting to feel significant, write it down and next to it write the inner substitute and do one small act of it. Pause 90 seconds before the sharp reply. Read 10 pages instead of opening the shopping cart. Let one achievement go unmentioned. And in the hot moment when provocation arrives, silently ask the verse's own question. Kavachena kim? Do I really need armor here, or do I already have kshaanti? Asked sincerely in the very moment of heat, that question is the armor being put on. May your forbearance be your shield, your friend be your medicine, your learning be your wealth, and your own creative spirit be a kingdom no one can ever take from you.
क्षान्तिश्चेत् कवचेन किं किमरिभिः क्रोधोऽस्ति चेद्देहिनां ज्ञातिश्चेदनलेन किं यदि सुहृद्दिव्यौषधं किं फलम् किं सर्पैर्यदि दुर्जनाः किमुधनैर्विद्या न वद्या यदि व्रीडा चेत् किमु भूषणैः सुकविता यद्यस्ति राज्येन किम्